Good afternoon, class. So today is 27th of March, and we will have to cover the current affairs of this day. The first news is related to the poll bond sale that can go ahead. This is said by the Supreme Court of India, and Supreme Court have actually given some of the judgments that are against the perception of the people. I hope you remember that the Reserve Bank of India have said that there may be increasing flow of the money, but they have not said that there could be direct flow with respect to the other things. However, the Supreme Court have only understood with respect to the electoral bond scheme that was there. In the judgment of the electoral bond scheme, the Supreme Court have said that the identity or the privacy of the persons who are donating to the government has been maintained on either side. On one side, the identity is only disclosed or the bonds can only be purchased after the person qualify the KYC, that is know your customer in the banks. On the other hand, they can only be cashed into the party accounts, and that too within the 15 days. So they can't be traded for the black money. Even if they are traded for the black money, the person is incentivized to basically lose the money. Now, these are some of the things that the Supreme Court have said. Now, please understand what could happen, what is the argument that there may be some individuals who may include certain private personnel and they will be sent to the banks with the cash of the money. They can buy the cash and multiple persons can buy that money, and then the electoral bonds can be sold. For example, there could be a lot of black money that could be coming to the party. The party can say to its worker that you go over there, you buy the bond, we will give you the money. They can confirm the KYC and the donation can be done to the political party. But the Supreme Court have said that once you have the KYC, you can actually track the money from where it is coming and where it is going. So I think that is a very narrow interpretation that the Supreme Court have given, because there are multiple ways to basically take in the money or bring in the money from the different parts, and there are multiple things at stake here. Now, bonds are not tradable. That is another issue that they have said that it can be used. The persons who have deposited or taken the bonds, he can deposit the money in any of the company. Apart from that, it is not easy for the other people who are not Indian citizen to buy the bonds. Even if they are buying the bond, they have to buy from the Indian citizens, and Indian citizen can only are the person who can buy the electoral bonds from the specified branch of SBI. Now, there are multiple issues to it, but I prefer to actually discuss them in a separate lecture because electoral bond is a big issue. So we'll be talking about in a separate lecture. The next one is the Prime Minister of India have visited Bangladesh on the National Day program of the Bangladesh, in which Bangladesh, which was the country that came into existence on 25th March 1971. India have said that the atrocities and the terrorism that is felt by India and Bangladesh at the hand of the Pakistan has been the same, and there need to be a common engagement and common discussions regarding the things and the issues that are needed to be taken head on. Both the countries have common agendas in fighting the terrorism. This is what he said. He also paid tribute to the 1971 war martyrs over there, and out of these war martyrs, 3,000 were of the Indian Army. And in that particular part, he also criticized the approach of the Pakistani people, that is the Operation Searchlight, and the atrocities he said that are not being readily discussed at the world platform, and they are being suppressed even by the Pakistani army or even by the other people. So these are some of the things that are happening, and we are currently targeting through the independence of the Bangladesh, the territory on the other side, that is the Pakistan. The next news is related to dormant parliament fading business. So this is with respect to the fiscal year 21. Now, M.R. Madhavan is of the opinion that the Lok Sabha have only met for 34 days in the fiscal year 21 and 33 days of Rajya Sabha. And who's the casualty? What is the casualty in that? The legislation, the proper scrutiny, and the accountability. The other question is, can technology be used for assistance? Yes, technology could have been used, but maybe there could have been formalization, or the voting that is done in the same manner, or the discussion that happens in the parliament in the manner could not have been happening in the same manner. But then again, there was some procedure that could be adopted that could have helped the proper functioning in the time of the COVID, and would provide a safeguard to the people who actually have or been sitting in the parliament. The next one is the when we talk about the session, there were 13 bills that were introduced, and most of these will, without any parliamentary or referring to the House panel, has been passed by the parliament in a record time. Now, when we talk about the record of the previous Lok Sabhas, in 14th Lok Sabha, 15th Lok Sabha, and 16th Lok Sabha, the trend is declining. When we talk about 13th and 14th Lok Sabha, the bills that were passed to the House panel were nearly about 60 to 70%. But in the case of the 16th Lok Sabha and the present, that is 17th Lok Sabha, the bills that were currently passed were only 27% in the 17th Lok Sabha and 11% till date in the 27% in the 16th Lok Sabha and 17% in the current 11% in the 17th Lok Sabha. So these are some of the things that he have highlighted. He says that it does not mean that they currently halt or there was no time for discussion. There have been disruptions every time. There were 2 to no confidence motions that were moved in a single budget session. So the government also have to give answer to that. The government also had provided answerability to those particular provisions. But then again, they were able to basically refer much of the bills to the House panel. And House panel is not a dormant situation, or there are open discussion of the issues that may also go ahead with the party line. The party people themselves can dissent because it is not out in the open. Otherwise, you cannot criticize the other forms of the government. There may be less criticism or less playing to the gallery, and there will be more constructive criticism in the forefronts of the House panel. So the House panel basically provide a constructive criticism, and we have seen the effects of it in the IBC code that has been enacted by the government, which is currently functioning. Now, when we talk about the money bill classification, that is another alternative the government have used. Most of the bills or the money bills, Rajya Sabha does not have any power. So government have used that route in fast forwarding the bills, and sometimes unrelated items such as the Aadhaar bill, the FDI bill, these are being attached with it. Apart from that, there were some crucial bills that are being passed without any scrutiny of the parliament, such as in this Lok Sabha, MMDR bill is passed, Mines and Minerals Development and reworking or something like that. Then we have GNCT-A bill, that is the Government of National Capital of Territory Amendment Act. And then we have National Bank for the Finance Institution Development Bank, and then the Insurance Amendment. So all this has been passed without proper scrutiny of the Parliament or the Rajya Sabha, and no discussion has been done. So what is the key that we have to follow? Parliament scrutiny is the key, and they should not bypass the mechanism to the constructive criticism and the accountability that is needed to be upheld. So I hope this is clear. The next one is the Israel democracy is facing a stress test. So first of all, you need to understand the situation of Israel. Israel has 120 party. Out of that, the Likud party, that is the majority party in Israel, headed by Benjamin Netanyahu, who was also the earlier president, had now seen the, I think, fourth election in the last 2 years. And he have gotten out of 120, 30 seats. So the total majority, that simple majority that you need in the House of the Parliament, there, that is Knesset, has 61 seats. Now, there are 13 parties who have gotten less than double-digit seats, and that have created a problem of an unstable government or a coalition government with too many parties that have multiple interests and varied interests in one another. So the future of the political stability in Israel is once again in dilemma. Now, the other issue that Mr. Kinvraj have highlighted is that there are a lot of issues of the political parties who are currently ruling. They are losing the ground because the current 2 issues that were very prominent for the nationalist parties, they are losing the ground. The initial 1967 war led to the floating of the nationalist party, who have come into the power in providing security to the common people against the threat of the Palestinian people. Right now, there is assessment in 2021 and the assessment with respect to the Israel, that what are the threats that may happen to India over 10 years. There may be, including with respect to the threats of Hezbollah, that is the immediate war. Then we have a threat of Iran being the nuclearization, and the third one is the bifurcation at the home, or the disintegration, internal disintegration at the home. There are multiple opinions at the home which say whether we should continue with the war, whether we should work on the development efforts, whether we should have good relations. So the nationalist parties are basically losing their ground to the other parties who are working on the constructive agenda. Therefore, the nationalist policy from this concept or this example, Mr. Janjid wanted to say that the nationalist agenda can only run for a small time. After that, there are internal disagreement and it is not good for the integration of the people. When we talk about the idea of a nation, it is a set of people who actually think alike, work alike, and then work for the goal of the achievement of the national agendas, which is going to be somehow cartelized if we focus on the nationalist agenda and if we focused on the nationalist views and try to launch the surgical strikes or some type of nationalist agenda that is needed to be pushed. So that will create divisions at home, and these divisions at home will actually lead to the bifurcation and separated mandate that will lead to the political instability. And for a country like India, we do not want any kind of political instability in the longer run. So I hope this is clear. Okay, further moving on. The next one is India-US agree to resolve key bilateral trade issues. So if you remember, MS Thai has been recently appointed as the head of the United States of Trade Representatives, and she have been dealing with all the countries in smoothing the trade contacts, engagement, and coordination, collaboration with one another. Ms. Thai have basically said that already the bilateral discussion between the two countries have been going on, and there could be a deal on the comprehensive trade issues that are currently standing. So in the case of Mr. Joe Biden, we as a country of India may have some more leeway in negotiating, because during the time of Trump, it was always considered that the Indian policymakers are dealing with the person who is completely transactional in nature. So that was not going to help India. Now this time there is a person who may take into consideration the regional realities, the other things the government have highlighted with respect to the practical consideration of trade at home and the trade at abroad. What are the compulsions, what are the balancing agreements that we have to see. So these are the things that will be discussed, and maybe sooner or later there will be a comprehensive agreement on trade between USA and India. When I told you, please remember the total amount of trade between USA and India. You should remember it is currently at about $250 billion between India and USA, and majority of that trade is currently skewed in the favor of India, as that India is supplying more goods as it is taking from USA. It is opposite in the case of China. We are taking more goods from China as we are supplying to the state of China. Okay, so I hope this is clear. Further moving on, SC stays non-committal on Rohingya issue. So there was a case that has been filed in the Supreme Court for the non-refoulement of all the Myanmar Rohingyas under the United Nations Convention on the Refugees. Even if a country is not a party to the convention, the people who have sought refuge or who have come to your country under the threat of any persecution, moral harm, or danger cannot be sent back if they face the same amount of danger in sending back them to their own country. So that is called as policy of non-refoulement. So this is where the Mr. Shanti Bhushan have appealed. The court have said that it is the decision of the government to decide. They do not have to say anything in that, and the word of the government is enough in that. The Rohingya all over are not recognized, and it is a case that is currently understood and currently heard. Indian government, whatever decision it want to take, the courts cannot go above their jurisdiction and sanction a carte blanche or a type of a complete prohibition to the government to allow these refugees in the country. So it is for a political leadership to take the decision, and court should not interfere in that. The next one is the 40% of the RTI rejection did not cite valid reason. The annual report of the Right to Information Act presented by Chief Information Commission annual report have said that the center has only rejected 4.3% of the all RTIs that have been requested in 2019 and 20. However, out of this 4.3% rejections, 4.40% of the rejection did not cite any valid reason that invoke one of the permissible exemption in the RTI. So permissible exemptions has been used, but only 4.3% has been rejected. Why they has been rejected? That is the concern. If the rejection is on the sole ground, we will know, but 40% of the rejections did not cite any valid reason and only have referred to a particular clause due to which the information cannot be disclosed. The maximum amount of rejection have happened in the Home Ministry followed by the Finance Ministry, and then the Delhi High Court. So I hope this is clear. The next one is the India-Pakistan Whole Brigade Commander level meet. So recently we have agreed to a 2003 ceasefire agreement. For the implementation at the ground, there was a flag meeting conducted at the Punch sector. So both army officers met over there and they talked with one another. They wanted to discuss the implementation of the ceasefire, and therefore the confidence building measures will be discussed between the two countries. And over the time, it is good for the possibility of peace, stability and tranquility in the border region and also in the Kashmir. And the terrorist activity that India have already highlighted, the Pakistan needed to suspend. That is the another headway that India would have wanted from Pakistan, but for years we are not able to get it. The next news is related to Georgia passes a city voting law. First of all, you need to understand that Georgia was the Republican bastion for the last 10 years. When we say, sorry, last 20 years, I think. Bastion, when I say, I mean that all the people who have won from the Republican Party, or even if they have not won from the Republican Party, the voting of the presidential election of or the people of the Georgia have only voted for the Republican Party. For the first time, they have voted for the Democratic Party, and therefore the Mr. Joe Biden have won. In the context of the understanding, please understand, Mr. Brian Kemp have basically tried to move certain amendments in which he have said that there will be fair, transparent and accountable ballot system that have improved. What are the amendments that he have moved? He have reduced the time with respect to the absentee voter roll card. So in America, if you have to vote, you can ask for absentee voter, then a ballot paper will come to your home. You can put the ballot paper in the boxes where they will be collected later. The ballot paper boxes numbers will be reduced. There will be less ballot papers. Then the persons who are counting or who are standing in the line, there is a provision that the persons who are standing in the line could be provided a water facility. So this has also been removed, and the persons who are counting, they also have water breaks in every counting. They has also been removed. Now this has been criticized by the Democrats as a threat on the democracy, but Mr. Brian Kemp have said that Georgia have moved ahead with this to become the process more resilient, more transparent and more quality-wise improvement that will be happening over time. The next one is the Beijing sanctions Britain's over Xinjiang. So recently Britain as a country have sanctioned some of the officials of China with respect to the violations that were committed, or the human rights violations that were committed on the people who were located in the Xinjiang province and were belonging to the ethnic Turkish minority Uyghurs. So there have been protests also that have been held worldwide in the expressing solidarity with the people who have been working in the camps or working in the forced labor. So now they are playing tit for tat game with one another. Britain have sanctioned some of the officials. China have again threat back. China have said that it is their own sovereign issue. There are no human rights that are being committed. Britain is guided by the Western democracy. They want to create a situation like Cold War. So please stay out of it. The next one is the Eritrea will pull out troops from Tigray. Now Tigray is the northern part of the Ethiopian region. And please understand, in the government of Ethiopia, there was a political party that belonged to the Tigray region. Now this political party had support from Eritrea in arms and ammunition. Last month or 2 months behind back, if you remember, 2 months back, the Tigray party have basically attacked on the army bases and they have snatched some of the facilities, after which Abiy Ahmed have launched an all-offensive attack on the Tigray region, or the Tigray extremist forces, or the terrorists he used to call them. In that particular scenario, it was expected that Eritrea, which have good relations with the Tigray region, could come to help, and they also came to help and situated in the border. And there was a possibility expressed by the international peacemakers that this may currently can or had a potential to blow out of proportion, and there may be fallouts on either part. Eritrea may get involved, then we have Kenya that may get involved, Ethiopia may get involved, and Tigray region is already under consideration. So as these things were unfolding, now this have come as a good sigh of relief to all the people in the world community, that the Tigray region where the Eritrean troops were present, they have said that they will move to the border areas behind their country, and therefore there is a possibility that there will be agreement, and the Tigray leaders have also agreed for calling a ceasefire, and maybe they will sit on the table and talk about the concerns and the issues there. The next one is the Egypt races to dislodge giant vessel that is blocking the Suez Canal. So India is also getting harmed because of it. 10% of the world trade currently flows through Suez Canal. There are 237 ships that are waiting there. There is rescue efforts that are currently going on, and India is also looking to pass a 200 billion trade from this particular region in the upcoming 15 days. So India is now looking for an alternative by the way of Cape of Good Hope. I hope you remember from history what is Cape of Good Hope. So from South Africa we are going to supply these particular products, and sooner or later they will be reaching Europe or the other countries in the European region. So I hope this is clear. So I think that is it for today.